Hey guys, Creator Mom. I think I found some wild grapes here. I'm gonna look it up more, but I'm pretty sure. Maybe they're edible. I don't know. That would be cool. I want to talk about June's character from The Handmaid's Tale. I feel like for me, her character, well, probably for a lot of people, because she is the main character, so her character is obviously going to be like really good. But I like the actress who played June as well. I had never really seen her in other movies and stuff, but like I really liked her in this show. So I like the fact, what I like about June is just like, I feel like it's something that I have felt in myself, and I like her character's ability to sit in a situation and kind of like permeate into it. She has a good ability of making people feel heard, and making people that aren't supposed to open up to her, because of how she made them feel about themselves, I think. And I think that is a quality that kind of like saved her, one of the qualities that saved her in this show. It's funny talking about a show. In this book I'm reading, Richard Dotts, he says that he feels like watching shows and movies is like the greatest waste of time because of how much we think about the characters after the show, and it's not even real. But which I agree with him to a point. Hold on, spiderweb. I agree with him to a point, but I also feel like every fiction story is nonfiction as well, because it has existed. Maybe it is somebody's story. Oh my God, the brambles! Look at that. The berry bushes are getting out of control here. If I had my Sawzall, I would cut it. I don't know. So, anyways. Yeah, every fiction is a nonfiction in ways or in principles. So that's what I like about it. I like relating to characters and being inspired by different characters in movies. I think that although movies and shows can be used for brainwashing, I guess, right? And music, but that's not the point. I think the point is that media is powerful. And that's why it is used for brainwashing, or that's why it can be used for purposes that are not good, because of the power that is in it, the good power. Look at freaking that Bohemian Rhapsody movie. Look at rock bands. The rock band Queen that movie is about and is of. How can a group of people or a band, look at Coldplay, how could these people influence so many people? They're only 4 people or 5 people or one person. What's her name came to Cincinnati? Taylor Swift. Oh my God. My cousin paid thousands, I think, or 1,000, I don't know how much, for good seats to see her. People will pay money for your gift, for your presence, for your anointing, if you will. People will pay for it. Can you believe? It's amazing to me. I used to be like, well, it's just idol worship. I don't know. I think it's more than that. I think it's because what those people have inside of them is powerful. They're using their giftings in powerful ways. And people will pay for that. People will pay for what they value. People will pay for what they feel like affects them positively. People will pay for what inspires their hearts, or if they feel inspired by someone. And I think this leads me back to talking about June. I think that she had a way to influence the hearts of these people. And, she did it in, I don't know, like a quiet, confident type of way. And I think that she inspired Serena to remember who she was. Serena was doing bad things, you know what I mean? But because they tried to create a system that they thought was going to be good. But Serena got trapped by her own system that she created with her husband and others that oppressed women. But prior to this, Serena she's educated, she's a writer, you know, and then she put herself in a box where she couldn't do, those things got taken away from her, you know, because her husband wrote that in the rules and she went along with it because of the whole paradigm they thought was going to create something perfect, something good. But anyways, I feel like June reignited that flame in her of who she is and who she really is. And June didn't do it because she wanted to be empathized with, but she did it as a manipulative tool, which isn't bad because she was trying to survive herself. But through doing that, I think that they realized that they had more in common than against one another. And I think that Serena started to realize that they had more in common than against. They have a love-hate relationship. You can tell in some ways, on some deep, raw way, that they love one another because they can relate to one another as powerful, educated women, empowered women. But Serena was just lying to herself, being in this system, you know? But I think June helped pluck her out of that. Not that June wanted to, because June was like, fuck you. You've ruined my life. I don't give a fuck about you. But because they connected on a deeper level, their relationship ended up shifting kind of like towards the end of the season 5, where June actually helped Serena give birth. And she wasn't going to. She was going to leave her alone to give birth by herself in a barn. And she realized, like, wow, I'm actually not like these people who have evil intent in their heart. Yeah, I've killed people to survive, but I'm not a killer. I actually do have compassion. I actually do have a soft heart. And she didn't leave Serena, even though Serena deserved to be left when you look at her and judge her according to her actions. She deserved to be left alone. She deserved to get her baby stolen from her. And that almost happened to her. But Serena got away with her baby. And her and June end up seeing each other. The very last scene on season 5, they end up, June is on a train because she's trying to escape from Canada now because the Canadians don't want American refugees there. And she's getting shot or run over and all types of shit. So she takes her daughter and they hop on this train that's going west. And her daughter is like a toddler and she starts crying on the train. She's like, don't worry, don't worry. Then all of a sudden they hear a baby crying on the chair. She's like, there's a baby crying. Like, there's another baby here. And then she walks over and it's Serena and her baby on the train trying to escape also because Serena ended up having to live with a psycho who wanted to take her baby. And when they meet, they're just like, oh my God. It was almost like this, you know, moment as where like all they had was each other. Like one of June's arch enemies, they were enemies, but like I said, there was a love there, like on a more human, basic human level, and they end up looking each other like almost being happy to see one another because they felt so alone. They were taken off on this train and did not know where they were going to go. And it's almost like now they have to team up. You know what I mean? Because of the situation that they're in. They both have babies. They're both in vulnerable situations. So I think that they connected deeply on a vulnerable level. All right, I think that's all I want to share. I hope I made a shred of sense.